Let's take a deeper look into how people behave when it comes to case acceptance. How do we get someone to take an action that we want for them, that we know that if they took would benefit their lives? And to understand this, it starts with understanding that we can't change what people want. If someone wants something, it's not our job to tell them that they're wrong and tell them that they have to do something differently. I'm sure you've engaged with people like that, and what you'll notice is that whatever you try to do, it's a very tough case, and there's all these tactics that exist to try to get them to change their mind. But at the end of the day, what you have is probably a very problematic patient, because at the onset of that engagement, there was a mismatch between what you wanted for them and what they wanted. So I want to break down what drives people to take action, what gets them to do the thing that you want them to do, and not so that we can create more situations where we change people's minds, but how do we get more people who already align with what you want for them, and how can we get them in the door so that when it comes down to the case acceptance or treatment acceptance, they're already aligned and they're already ready to go with what it is that you want them to do. All right, so let's say here we have the patient. All right, so, and this is going to be their journey. They come in to your office, and whatever it is that you do, let's say in this example, let's say it's braces. So we're going to add another layer of complexity because now we have the patient who is probably a minor, and then we have the adult, the parent or guardian, who is the actual decision maker in this case. So what does the decision maker want? And that might differ from what the patient actually wants, from what the actual person receiving that change wants. But ultimately, it's going to be the decision maker. They're out there to care for that minor. So we seek to work with them and engage at that relationship at that level. So let's say braces. All right, so you do everything. You do the exams, you do the consult, and now you get to the coordination and the planning, and you present it. And let's say they say no or they say yes. What happens in this interaction such that it causes a yes or a no? So let's say this is a no, and let's say this is a yes. So back to the idea that we can't get people to change what they already want, and we want to show how our solution, your solution, can get them closer to what they already wanted. All right, so if we look at braces, people aren't born wanting braces. There is a context around it. Why do they want braces? What about our culture, what about their beliefs makes them believe they want braces? And to illustrate this, Japanese geishas, back in the day, they used to darken their teeth because it would brighten the appearance of their face, and they wanted their face to appear brighter. So if you went to them and you offer teeth whitening, they would probably say no, because it's misaligned with what they wanted, which was status, which was affiliation with the other geishas. So braces, what other wants does that help people achieve? What are they going for that braces gets them closer to? And when I say they, I mean the parent. All right, so let's draw their kid here. What they want isn't what the parent wants, and not always. They might want something else. They might want the social status among their friends, that they're getting an image improvement done or whatever. But the parent wants braces for a very different reason than the kid wants it. It's possible that the kid doesn't want it, but the parent still wants it, and they're looking out for their long-term best interest. But at the end of the day, we're working with the parent. So what does the parent want? It's not braces. What does getting braces for their kid achieve, right? And if you look into basic wants, so let's put basic here, and let's put very specific. So specific wants. Specific wants could be getting braces for their kids. So let's put braces right here. Now let's move a level back, because if we engage with braces, if we find people who are only looking for braces, or if we find people who are already at the level of braces, then, and we try to align with people who just want the cheapest braces or whatever, we're going to have a very hard time, because now we're in competition with all the other providers of braces. But what if we can address a more basic desire? So let's start with braces and let's start moving backwards. What is it that when they get their kids braces, are they achieving? Now, this is an exercise that you should do for whatever service that you offer. And even if you do offer braces, it's possible that you might be seeking to serve a completely different profile of people who get braces for a completely different reason. So don't take this as the answer, but rather my interpretation of it, and you should do it as well for whatever service or treatment that you do, so that you can understand this and serve people in a way that's more meaningful. All right, so when I get braces for my kids, what I actually want might be to look better, look good. I might want to look like I'm a great parent. I might want to tell my other parents, or tell the other parents of my kids' friends that, hey, I got my kids braces. Or when other parents come to pick up their kids, they see your kid with braces and they think, oh, wow, this parent must be a very good parent. So it says a lot about your identity, or their identity as a parent. So look good as a parent. So just imagine, we got one level deeper, and now if we can create a service, create a practice that aligns with that goal of, hey, working with us, not just braces, but just working with us in general, is how you become a better parent, is how you can show other people that you are becoming a better parent. And if you can serve that, let's say you can give them stickers they can put on their car, that supports this, right? We can design other elements that supports this more basic desire. All right, let's go one level deeper. Why do they want to look good as a parent? All right, is it a feeling of pride? Maybe they want pride. All right, maybe they want reassurance, or maybe not reassurance. Maybe they want like social standing, affiliation. That's what I meant. Maybe they want to affiliate with a higher class or a higher status of people who also get their kids braces. All right, so if we chose to serve people who want affiliation, now that's also more impactful. If we can create a practice that serves affiliation or even pride, right? And you can move down towards the more basic needs. Why do they want affiliation? Maybe they want to feel loved. Maybe they want to feel accepted. Maybe they want to feel like intelligent, right? And when we understand the more basic wants that people are actually going for, now we can design this entire thing, not just the actual, like when they're at the table or when they're at the treatment coordination office or room, not just saying, hey, this is why you need braces, this is what it does for you, like functionally, it helps you breathe better and it helps you chew better and all this stuff. They might not care about this. They might care more about this stuff. All right? And so the goal is not about optimizing. So here, we have like multiple steps in here. Let's say 1, 2, 3. This might be the exam or consult or whatever, and this might be the actual presentation. It's not about getting as many people here and then optimizing this moment, because what happens then is you start to create a very broad funnel, and you start having to get a lot of people in with like very different beliefs, very different wants. Maybe these people they don't care what other parents think about them. Maybe these people don't care about their kid at all, or whatever it is. We get them to this situation where now we're presenting to them, and there's all these different beliefs, all these different ideas, and we've created a practice in service of a completely different want. So therefore, we're going to struggle here, and we're going to have to rely on tactics and other things of like pressure sales and these less than ethical things in order to get them to say yes, because there was misalignment. So what I'm advocating for is that you take an approach where you start differentiating and not explicitly, but really implicitly suggesting that this is what you're going to help people do. And you can vocalize this. And so when that happens, now people who want this come through the door because you've done the work here, not the work here. It's not about optimizing this moment. It's about creating marketing that is, and also here, it's about creating this that aligns with people who want it, so much so that they get attracted to it. And so you're going to get more people who say yes, because you've created something that shows that you're going to get them closer to their goals of whatever it is that they want. All right, so I rambled a bit, but I hope you get the idea that case acceptance is not about tactically maximizing this moment. If you go that route, sure, you will get a short-term boost in results because that's what those tactics are meant to do. But think about all the other effects that you create because you take that approach. The people who say no, how do they feel as a result? What are they going to say about you? Right? Sure, you're going to get a few people who say yes more, but it's going to turn off people who say no more than your original method, than if you hadn't done all the tactical stuff. So instead, focus on what it is that they want. Focus on creating a practice that helps them get there, and focus on creating the presentation and the marketing that shows them, that aligns with what they really want, and show them how you can actually get them to align. And once they come in the door, get them to align. And all this becomes is just reassurance that you are there to do what they thought that you were, or they were going to get as a result of coming into your office. So again, hope that makes sense. Hope you found this valuable. Thanks.